Hi, I'm Jason Weaver. A mind at liberty to reflect on its own observations if it produces nothing useful to the world, seldom fails of entertainment to itself.
Hi, I'm Trevor McCarty, and unlike Jason, I had no adverse reaction to watching Ergo Proxy.
Yeah, I guess you just have a firmer grasp on reality than I do.
What the? I thought you were over there.
I am over here.
But how?
Today's anime, Ergo Proxy, is unique, to say the least. A lot of it was inspired by philosophy, some Greek mythology, and, as is known, it is in the realm of experience inaugurated by psychoanalysis that may grasp along what imaginary lines. Trevor, please introduce this anime before I start reciting Nietzsche.
Ergo Proxy is a deeply intricate mind screw series, but don't just take my word or the word of that British one-eyed apple with the mustache over there.
Dude, I think you've gone crazy.
Check out our review.
Rondo, a city separated from the destroyed outside world by the dome it resides in, technologically dependent, demanding conformity, and every bit as boring as the tone of voice I am using to describe it. That's the way female protagonist Riel Mayer sees her life in the city, at least. The only thing around to ease the tedium for her and her auto-rape Iggy is her investigation of an outbreak of a mysterious virus, which causes self-awareness and rebellious behavior in auto-raves, known as the Cogito virus. That and the big spooky monsters that crashed through her roof one night that her regent grandfather would rather she just chalk up to being insane. With all the evidence leading back to a lowly immigrant named Vincent Law, Riel becomes determined to uncover the truth behind everything. Boring paradise, my white ass.
While Riel tries to figure out where the monsters, known as Proxies, came from, Vincent is chased to the mall by one of the Proxies who attacked her, framed for the, murder of his auto-rave, and goes on the run with a Cogito-infected auto-rave named Pino to escape Rondo before Dome security successfully hunts them down for the crime of breaking something he owned. Despite Riel's best efforts, Vincent and Pino escape the Dome into the depressing, toxic wasteland that is the outside world. Vincent awakens after falling from a height that should have killed him, and recovering from a disease that should have killed him to ponder just what he is going to do now, having abandoned his chances of a normal life. Then Pino does something adorable to lighten the mood.
Back in Rondo, Riel finds she can't get Vincent out of her head, convinced he is connected to the Proxies that wrecked her bathroom. With the help of her creepily lovesick Dr. Daedalus, she finds the dead body of the Proxy that was chasing Vincent earlier. While she continues to investigate, and Iggy continues to be a gay stereotype, Vincent accidentally dooms the commune of Rondo rejects he and Pino were staying with when he tries to save her from a patrol robot, causing the Dome to send more robots to purge the commune by means of shooting it a bunch. After escaping, Vincent and Pino resolve to screw those guys and go home to Mosque, the Dome Vincent originally immigrated from.
After faking her own death, Riel takes Iggy and leaves Rondo to go after Vincent and discover his true relationship to the Proxies, while Daedalus continues researching the dead Proxy and playing political warfare with Raoul Creed, the head of the Dome security, who is unfamiliar with the concept of personal space. Back to Vincent and Pino. They come across more domes on their way to Mosque, each one containing another Proxy that knows Vincent. Some want to help him, some want to hurt him, and some that just want to fuck with his head. But the end result is pretty much universal. Vincent kills them. Yes, in case you hadn't noticed, Vincent's penchant for bringing death to those around him, there was actually a reason behind it.
It all has to do with the Proxy that appeared whenever Vincent was around and what his connection to it is. Here's a hint. The reason you never saw them in the same place at the same time is the same reason you never saw Bruce Banner around while the Hulk was beating up tanks. Vincent and the Proxy, known as Ergo Proxy, the agent of death, are and always have been the same thing. He just forgot where he left his memories. After she and Iggy catch up to Vincent and Pino, Riel finds it hard to believe that passive-submissive Vincent is the Proxy Grim Reaper. She finds it a little more believable once he transforms right in front of her when a wild Proxy appears. But much to Vincent's surprise, he is not the only one who can kill a Proxy.
Riel obtained a gun from Daedalus before she left, which fires bullets containing large portions of power siphoned from Rondo. Power enough to be super effective against a Proxy. Meaning that if Riel was so inclined, she could kill Vincent with one shot. But she won't, because Vincent is in love with her, because, well, point to me one other female human in the series. Who stays alive. That's what I thought. But Vincent still has to be careful, because it turns out Iggy is infected with the Cogito virus, and he's pissed at the way Riel's always treated him, so he verbally knocks her down a few pegs, but still sacrifices himself to save her when an auto-rave tries to turn itself into a grenade. While our heroes continue to Mosque, it is hinted that there is someone watching over their progress, but more on that later. We now go to Jason for a quick update on the Rondo side plot. Jason?
Well, Well, Trev, things are not looking good. Along with the increasing Cogito outbreaks, Daedalus has used DNA from the dead Proxy and Riel to make a clone of her to prove just how sane he still is, while Raoul Creed has been fired as security chief because he found it absolutely necessary to weaponize the Cogito virus and launch a nuke at Mosque out of hatred for Vincent. We now return you to our main story, already in progress. Vince, Pino, and Riel's excellent adventure becomes a bogus journey when they arrive to discover that Mosque has been megatonned. While sifting through the wreckage, they are able to put together that the dead Proxy, known as Monad, was stolen from Mosque by Rondo because domes need a proxy to properly function.
Monad is also who Ergo transferred his memories to. So seeing as how the answers to the Proxy mystery lie back in Rondo, I can't fucking do this. The trio heads back to solve the mystery of the Proxies before it collapses. The Cogito outbreak has gotten so bad, war has broken out between humans and autoreivs, resulting in Raoul's death. Daedalus tries to destroy Rondo, but gets pinned under debris. His Riel clone has become the reincarnation of Monad Proxy, who is herself obsessed with Vincent, who left Riel in Pino after transforming into Ergo Proxy, but seemingly returned to kill Riel's regent grandfather after regaining his memories, leading to Riel calling out the mastermind behind the mystery of the Proxies. Another Ergo Proxy?
More accurately, the original Ergo Proxy. Here comes most of the answers to the mystery of the Proxies, so if you don't like spoilers, cry me a river. The man behind the plan is Proxy 1, and the plan was to get Vincent to kill him. It all started with mankind accidentally exploding our atmosphere, wiping out most of life on Earth. A small portion of the survivors having escaped into space to live in orbit and wait for the planet to get better, but not before creating a race of 300 man-made gods known as Proxies to restore the population by having each of them create a dome to be in charge of, wherein a respectable population would be housed so as to restore humanity's numbers without further damaging the environment. Thus, when the clouds of pollution cleared and the orbiting humans returned, they would not be alone in starting over, and the Proxies would be dead.
The Proxies were designed to die from exposure to the sun. That way the humans would have no omnipotent labor force to face when they came back to Earth. Now, being made as a part of a nine-mortal race of shape-shifting gods whose sole purpose is to create and suffer through a bunch of lowly humans who grew to fear and hate their creators, hurt Proxy 1's feelings so much that he created a duplicate of himself to suffer his task for him. The titular Ergo Proxy,
Ha tits!
well, he left to go write sad poems or something. Ergo, who created Rondo, found the despair of his existence too much to take as well. So, he left his dome in the care of Riel's grandfather and went to Mosque, where his lover, Monad, took his memories and allowed Ergo to become the Vincent Law we knew at the beginning of the series.
But Proxy 1 manipulated events behind the scenes to force Vincent to regain his memories, so he would remember how much of a lazy bastard Proxy 1 is for putting the responsibility of restoring mankind on him, thus angering him enough to kill Proxy 1 and be stuck with said responsibility. And it works to the point that Vincent lands what could be a mortal blow, but the reincarnated Monad steps in and offers him the chance to go die with her by exposing themselves to the sun and throw a metaphysical wrench into not only Proxy 1's plan but also humanity's rebirth. Vincent seems content to leave everything to a fate he never wanted a part in, but suddenly remembers his experiences with Pino and Riel and decides that he could bear fixing the planet with them.
So, he swallows his pride and returns to a dying Proxy 1, who weakly rebels on the success of his plan before keeling over. Monad burns up in the sunlight, just as Daedalus kicks the bucket, while Riel almost becomes an X-person, but is saved by Pino. As they approach Ergo, or Vincent, or whatever the hell his name really is, he looks skyward to the distant ships, descending to Earth hopeful that he and the survivors can work together to restore the Earth, and that he's going to mercilessly kill the humans returning from orbit for abandoning the planet, and they all live happily ever after. Well, the story was definitely deep and complex. Ergo, the characters must be as well, right?
Vince is a timid, sad man who doesn't know what he wants to do with his life, while Ergo is an impulsive menace to all things that have the sheer nerve to be alive. As the series goes on, the best parts of their personalities begin to mix, resulting in a strong, wise, and somewhat vengeful old soul of a broken god with a cool mask. But because the development takes so long, are just kind of a dull character with a cool mask.
I no longer care who I was before I became what I am. I'm myself, and that's all I need.
Domineering, shrewd, and colder than some clever thing that is also cold, Riel is an enjoyably deadpan, possible obsessive-compulsive, and is able to avert how spoiled she is through how capable she is most of the time. Though she starts defrosting halfway through the series, she never melts enough to stop seeking the truth no matter how much it hurts anyone else.
Someday I'm going to pull that trigger. So can you still love me knowing that?
Because the show needed something cute to distract us from how uncaring and depressing the outside world is, Pino exists. And while she could have easily been an annoying little android, she's used as she's needed and never becomes more than a somewhat helpful ball of adorable optimism.
Are you left-handed too?
Left my hand where?
Daedalus enjoys being Riel's personal physician more than he should and wishes he could examine her more, but misses out due to a mix between her disinterest and spending all of her time with Vincent and Pino on the other side of the planet. As if the fact that he tried to make an immortal clone of her wasn't sad enough, and the fact that the clone also preferred Vincent over him, Daedalus is quite the sad reference to a Greek artisan.
When I look into her eyes, I want to see my reflection.
Though not the nicest guy, Raul is largely a victim of circumstance to start with. Losing his wife and child to Monet's rampage, losing Pino to Vincent, and when he loses his sense of purpose in keeping people in Rondo after he finds out that life outside is not only possible, it's already been achieved, he finally loses his mind. And while searching for Pino, he ultimately loses his life. What a loser.
It's not the end of the world. Not yet.
Ergo Proxy is a slow, meditative little epic, but well worth the wait. It has a fascinating mythology steeped in philosophy and crazy god things shooting lightning out of their eyes. Now, if you only come in for the latter, you're probably going to be disappointed. Ergo Proxy isn't an action series, and if you find the waxing philosophical pretentious, you're likely to declare it the anime incarnation of that jerk who acts like they know more than you. You've got to watch it with your brain firing on all cylinders, but if you do, you'll see a mystery that only gets better and better.
So, besides it being a total mind screw and messing with the way I now think, I really enjoyed it. I was really drawn to the mystery of the Proxies and who the hell Vincent really is, which is a good thing. But it pissed me off a bit because I just wanted some fucking answers. The story was really in-depth, and the action sequences were really cool. Sadly, I would have loved to see more of them. The only thing I really got to bash is the slow progression story in the middle of the series made me want to scream, and I wasn't really happy with the way it ended. Other than that, I enjoyed it. I'm just happy I didn't go completely insane while watching it. Or at least I think I didn't. I can't take this!
We would be in a nasty position indeed if empirical fact, yet analytical truth is not as mysterious.
What the hell?
Secret than neither thoughts nor
Stop
passions.
screwing with my mind!
Trevor, what are you doing in my house?
Stop being a philosophizer! You didn't disappear.
Hey, you didn't either! Why are you in my house pissing me off?
Ergo Proxy! Review! Smiland was weird!
Trevor, you gave me a book. A sad book. Now I'm sad. Jerk.
It's a conspiracy!
I've done it! I've driven another person to madness, and with no negative consequences to my own sanity.